Welcome to Study Time, a televised home learning program produced by Rwanda Basic Education Board.
Hello, Senior 6 students. How are you, dear friends of mine? I am teacher Jean Damascene. I am here to discuss with you Senior 6 Entreneurship. Okay, so as you can see on our chalkboard here, we are dealing with Unit 11, okay, which says work, safety, and health, okay. It is our Unit 11. Now, by now, we are going to discuss Lesson 2, which says the health, hygiene, and sanitation practices, okay. What are the practices that are done for health, hygiene, and sanitation, okay? What is the difference between hygiene and sanitation, okay? So we shall see them in our presentation for today. Now, dear students, as it is in our habit of working with objective, so the life minus objective, of course, that life is not complete. Running minus objective, that is not running, okay? Anything that you can do minus objective, minus goal, minus target, minus ambition, minus intention, so there, that thing should not be complete because we work to achieve something. That's why now I expect from you now to be able, at the end of this lesson, when we will be ending this presentation, dear students, when we will be able to explain some practices that can be done in health, hygiene, and sanitation, either at home and at work. So when we will be able to explain those kind of practice, dear students, will be more successful, and the lesson will be more successful to you, okay? So that's why I just want you to welcome you in this presentation for today. I just welcoming you, feel free. There is a time, me as a teacher, I can ask you to brainstorm on certain concept, okay? So remember, I give you something, you give me something. Direct or indirectly, okay? So now, there is a time the teacher can ask you, dear student, can you try to brainstorm on this? It's just a challenge, but which is good so that you can also use your mind to be focused, okay? So to be more focused, of course, you have to do what? You have to follow what the teacher is telling you. Because sometimes you can brainstorm on a certain concept and you can find that what you have discovered is similar to what the teacher has prepared for you. That time, you will be a good student and you will be more successful. So it's better to use our mind, okay? So you are welcome, dear students of mine, and I promise you that we are going to have the joyful moment within this presentation. So stay in touch, okay? Remember, we are talking about the work, safety, and health, okay? This is work, the work safety, and health. That is our lesson for today, okay? Now, I just want you to face on the screen. There is something which is there. I just want you to use your mind and your eyes to see what is on our screen, okay? There is something the teacher has prepared for you on this screen. If you try to read on there, you can see that there is the healthy, hygiene, and sanitation practices, okay? Do you understand? Students, I want you to face on the screen because there is something that I want you to face there, okay? So if you try to observe very well, there is a health, hygiene, and sanitation practice. Okay? If you try to read in the chart which is there, I see very, very many words. But if you see the words which are in bold and which has the big size there, you can read hygiene, you can read personal, you can read water, you can read cleanliness, you can read liquid, you can read bathroom, you can read wash, you can read soap, you can read hands, the hygienic, and so on. Okay? So if you try to observe there, now you can come up with some ideas of how these health, hygiene, and sanitation practices. Okay? What can be those practices that can be done so that somebody become more healthy and the sanitation of any environment looks smart. Okay? That's what we are going to see in this presentation for today. Okay? But dear students, before we tackle those kind of practices, I just want you to read it there. You first know the meaning of hygiene, the meaning of sanitation. Okay? If you try to read, you find that hygiene is a set of personal practices that contribute to good health. This hygiene, it includes things like hand washing, bathing, and cutting hair. This, when we talk of cutting hair, of course, we also to shave and cut our nails. Okay? You can shave the hair, you also cut the nails. This hand washing is the single most important activity we can all do to encourage the stop of diseases. Okay? So, mostly and most of the diseases that attack our lives, most of them we get them from our hands. That's why I will tell you what is germ. Mostly we go with germs in our hands. So that's why we have to do hygiene, and that's why we have to do now what is sanitation. Okay? Sanitation is the effective use of tools and actions that keep our environment healthy or clean. Okay? But dear students, I have the curiosity. What are those tools that we use in the sanitation? Because we say that we use tools and actions, but those tools, we use them to keep our environment healthy and clean. Okay? Those, they are like those of hose, the spade, and so on. Okay? These include the latrines or toilets to manage waste, food preparation, washing stations, effective drainage, and other such mechanisms. Okay. Now, all workplace environment, they need to be hygienic and safe for employees and visitors, even those which are not involved in the production and handling of food and personal products. Okay, so we are still discussing what is hygiene, what is sanitation. Okay, so by now I think each and everyone is able to explain what is hygiene. Hygiene is a set of personal practices that contribute to good health. Any attitude toward good health, you are doing hygiene. When you are washing your body, you are doing hygiene. When you are cutting those fingernails, you are doing hygiene. Okay? When you are shaving the hair, you are doing hygiene. When you are washing clothes, you are doing hygiene. Okay? That is now what we call hygiene. But it is the practice, not this. You practice, you do a practice of hygiene. So it means there should be some physical energy that you shall use so that the hygiene will be done accordingly. Okay? Now, Now if somebody asks you again to explain the sanitation, it is the effective use of tools, we have said so. But these tools are used to keep environment clean. Okay? In recent months, you heard that people, it was an habit or culture in Rwanda that the people, they meet at every Saturday, they meet. Saturday, which end the month, they meet together for the community work, which is called the umuganda. Okay? Most of this community work, the main purpose, it is sanitation. Okay? Because there is some soil that have washed away by erosion. You see that some roads are dirty. You see that very many things are not good. So that is environment in general. So that's why the people used to meet, and they meet together. They handle such kind of problem related to hygiene. Now the environment looks smart. That is the sanitation. Okay? Those of latrines, they build some toilets for the people who don't have them, like those of collecting wastes, those of food preparation for those children who are suffering from malnutrition or diseases, those of effective drainage, where they can water the plants and the other mechanisms. So that's why we say that all workplace environments, they need to be hygienic and safe for employees and visitor. Remember we talked about this in unit 1, I mean in lesson 1, where we have seen that for workplace to be more efficient and more comfortable, there should be a hygiene which is at high level, so that the employees, the visitors, the customers, all stakeholders who work there will be more healthy. Okay? Now, a proper health, hygiene, and sanitation practice not only prevent the spread of illness, but also contamination at workplace by germs. I promised you to tell you what is germ. Now the germ is there. Germs are very small organisms that can grow in the body and cause some infectious diseases. Okay? These small organisms, they are not seen. Mostly to see them, those are like microbes. To see them, it requires to use the microscope. But when they reach the human body, they grow. When they grow up, that's why we see the people are suffering from different intestinal diseases because of these germs. They can make you sick and are easily transferred. How? When the people are shaking hands, okay? You are exchanging hands. I have germs, I transfer them to you, okay? One can prevent germs and contamination through practicing proper health and sanitation. Okay? We are still knowing the hygiene and the sanitation, the germs. Okay? Now, the health, hygiene, and sanitation is very important for every workplace, and that's why there I want you to see some health, hygiene, and sanitation that can be practiced both at home and at the workplace. Okay? Now those practices, we shall have one. Okay? Remember, we are still talking about the work safety and health. Okay? When it comes to the practices, as you see in our objective, we have said that when we will be able to explain the practices than in health and sanitation at home and at work, so we will be more successful. Now, by now, we are going to see what are those practices. Okay? The practice number 1 here, you have to protect water sources and use clean water. Okay? You have to protect water sources, water sources. You have to protect water sources and use. You have also to use clean water. Okay. This is the practice number 1 which the people should take in consideration so that they become more successful at home and at work. Okay. Now for drinking and washing, of course, we normally need, among the basic things that we always need, the most important one is water. Okay. This water, they can be used for drinking. They can be also used when we are washing, like those of utensils, those of clothes, okay? So, this water that we normally drink, we are advised to do what? To boil them, and they reach at the 100 degrees Celsius so that we can consume them, okay? But when you take the water from the tap and you drink them directly, that's you are drinking what? The microbes, those of germs, you are entering them in your body. So that's why next time we will see that you are suffering from more different diseases. Okay. The practice number 2, you have to wash your hands before preparing and eating food. Okay. You wash what? You wash your hands. You wash your hands. This is very crucial. You wash your hands before. You wash your hands before preparing. What do you prepare now? Before preparing and eating food. Okay? So, as you have seen the meaning of jam and eating food. As you have seen the meaning of jams, you see that you don't know where we can get these kind of jams. But we mostly have them in our hands. When we have jams and we go directly to eat without washing them, we are eating what? Jams. Tomorrow, next tomorrow, we suffer. Okay? That's why we advise you to wash the hands before and after eating. Okay? The regular hand washing particularly, okay? Before and after certain activity. For example, the teacher is teaching. When he finished to teach, he go and wash the hands, okay? It is one of the best ways to remove germs, avoid getting sick, and prevent the spread of germs to others. Okay? So when I greet you after washing my hands, and if you have also washed your hands, I think there is no germs that I will transfer from you, no germ you will transfer to me. Okay? So better we wash them before and after any activity. We are still discussing on washing hands before preparing and eating food. One should always wash his or her hands before, during, and after preparing food. Okay? You can wash them before you prepare. During, in action, you are preparing, you can also wash these hands. And after preparing food. Okay? Before eating food, we have to do what? We wash the hands. Before and after caring for someone who is sick, we wash the hands. Before and after treating a cut or wound, that is very crucial and important. If you see somebody wounded, he's bleeding, you do first aid for him, but after that, make sure that you wash the hands. If you don't do so, you are getting the germs which are very, very tough. Okay? So, remember, don't say that you have shifted now to biology. No, we are in entrepreneurship. But all these practices that we are talking about, they will be more necessary when you will be at work Remember, very soon we will be out from schools. When we finish our advanced level, some of us will be at work. So when you don't practice those health practices, the hygiene, guys, we shall miss you. Okay? So after changing the diapers or cleaning up a child who has used the toilet, that is automatic. Not only the child, even you. When you are from toilet, of course, you have to wash the hands. Okay? After blowing your nose, coughing or sneezing, you also have to do what? To wash the hands. After touching an animal feed or animal waste, most of you, when you are in holidays, you are asked to keep or you go to look after animals like those of cattle, those of goats. Okay? So you are now the manager. You are controlling them. Some of you, they go at the back, they do whatever, but for sure, remember after touching on them, don't forget to do what? To wash the hands. When you are feeding them, don't forget to wash the hands. When you touch these animal wastes, for example, you are carrying the fertilizers to the field, okay? Don't forget to wash the hands, okay? Now, after handling pet food or pet treats, okay? You do what? You wash the hands. After touching the garbage, those rubbish, okay? You do what? You wash the hands. Now, how should you wash your hands? Now, this is another advice. Dear students, we are preparing you to be the perfect people, the healthy people, okay? You have to wet your hands with clean, running water, which can be warm or cold, no problem. Turn off the tap and apply soap, okay? To wet, it's just taking the little of the water, but which is, you take water which is not much for wetting the hands, okay? You run, that water can be warm or cold, but first you have to turn off the tap and you apply soap, okay? Rather, your hands, by rubbing them together with the soap, be sure to rather the blocks of your hands between your fingers and the other under your nails, okay? What does this mean? You have applied soap to you, so you have to rub them together with the soap. That is the second round. Now there, you have to be sure that the backs of your hands, okay, the backs of the hands, between your fingers and under your nails. When you do those things, when you see between the fingers, you remove all the germs or any rubbishes that can be there, it is good for you, okay? So you have washing and cooking food, wash dishes and store food, okay? All these are now the practices that are mainly used in what we call the health practice or the hygiene, okay, of maintaining our body. You have to scrub your hands for at least 2 seconds. You rinse your hands well under clean and running water. You dry your hands using a clean towel or air dry them, okay? So we have also another practice which can be the practice number 3. It is called, you have to washing and cooking food, okay? Before food is eaten, of course, it has to be washed and cooked, okay? Washing and cooking food, okay? In addition to washing one's hands through, one should wash food off before eating it so that you do not ingest germs through food. Okay, you have to use clean water source to wash off fruits and vegetables if you are going to eat before preparing to eat or serve. Okay, now the practice number 4, which is going to be the last, you have to wash dishes and store. Okay, you wash dishes. You wash dishes and store food. Where you store your food and store food. Okay, when you wash dishes and the store food, where you keep your food, the germs can also be on that dishes and cooking pots and pans. So when they are there, therefore, before and after using the cooking supplies, including the utensils, you should wash this with soap and water. Okay, there is no need of washing plate without soap. By that time, all germs will not be removable. Okay, so dear students, the main concern for today's lesson, it was these practices. Okay, these practices in which the people can do for health and sanitation. Okay, so that's why, as we are reaching to an end of our presentation for today, I just want you to review with a homework or an exercise. As you can see on our screen, we have almost 2 questions. The question 1, you have to explain the word hygiene. Question 1A, question 1B, you have to explain what you do understand by sanitation. Okay? Question 2, you discuss on when and how. When the people wash the hands, when people clean dishes, okay, and when people can protect water sources. Okay, you just write the short note on those concepts. For the next time we shall meet and you present them, or we see whether what you have worked is similar to what the teacher has taught you. Okay, so thank you very much. Thank you for today, dear students. It was of a great time to be with you. Hope we shall meet next time. Okay, stay safe, dear friends of mine. Goodbye.